Today's episode of Film Discussion Thursday is brought to you by Apocalypto Film Consulting.
This week on Film Discussion Thursday, we discuss FiLMiC Pro for mobile devices. Welcome to Film Discussion Thursdays, the show where we discuss anything related to film. I'm your host, Kyle Nichols. Now, in this week's episode, we'll be reviewing the FiLMiC Pro app for iPhone and I believe also Android. Now, last week I reviewed the iOgrapher filmmaking case for my iPhone and iPads, and FiLMiC Pro is the perfect add-on to using that iOgrapher. Both of them go within together very well. I've been using FiLMiC Pro for maybe about a year or two, not really for professional stuff like this, or as the leaves fall, and then my also feature films. FiLMiC Pro allows you to change the frames per second from 24, 30, 60 to 120, and also on the 6S, I believe also to 240 if I'm not mistaken. It also lets you change ISO, it lets you change exposure, white balance. It also lets you change the resolution. On the new 6S and 6S Plus, you can do 4K, and that's one reason why I'm going to be upgrading to that in the near future, so that way I can use the full-fledged features of FiLMiC Pro, so that way I can get the highest quality films out there I can, maybe even put the full quality on Vimeo. I've been considering that with a colleague of mine, Andrew Baylog, about Vimeo, looking at Vimeo recently, so I'm thinking I'll be doing that along with the 4K film quality that I'm going to be having soon. But back to FiLMiC Pro, it is a wonderful app. It has settings for all those things that I just explained. It also lets you choose which type of microphone you're going to use, how much megabits per second your video is going to have depending on quality. But there is one little discrepancy I have on my iPhone 6 Plus that I really need you guys to understand. When you're doing 1080p like I am right now for Film Discussion Thursdays, it does have a little bit of pixelating when you go over 32. Right now I'm doing this at about 32 megabits per second at 30 frames per second. That way it isn't that film look. See how it's not a film type of deal, but it's just a YouTube video episode type of deal. So with that, if you want to do 24 frames per second for your films, it allows you to. Each one that you change, whether it be 24, 30, 60, 120, etc., you do have to change your focus points and your exposure, regardless of whether you want to do high exposure, low exposure. And then you also have to look at like the shutter speed too, because sometimes the shutter speed, rolling shutter, when you're panning your camera, it'll have that little wavy jelly motion, but that just depends on the settings that you have. And in the past, I believe one of my Film Discussion Thursday episodes that I did use with the FiLMiC Pro, it did have a little bit of a choppiness. It wasn't really a fluid motion throughout the video, and that's due to the fact of the resolution and the megabits per second speeds were not balanced, which it equals out to choppy video. It might mess up the film that you have, but other than that, FiLMiC Pro is a great app. I used it when I shot As the Leaves Fall, 24 frames per second. I set up my own exposure, my own focus points, and both of those two things are both separated, so that way you can interchangeably customize. You can actually customize your focal point, you can customize your exposure, and then you can also tap on the symbol that they have right on the screen. The focus one is a square, and the exposure one is like a circle. You just tap that and to lock them, and it'll turn red, letting you know that it is locked, which means that if you move it all around the screen, it will not change. The only way it'll change is if you tap that again and a white screen and the white goes back again, then it's unlocked again. So that way you'll be able to change it as you need to, rather than have it be locked, if that makes sense. I believe that FiLMiC Pro has been around a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken. I did hear about it through FilmRide, of course, at first, because I learned everything from there. All the things I know, I learned from FilmRide. So I gotta give a shout out to them. But that's where I first heard about it. I downloaded it, I tried it out, wasn't really too serious on it. At the time I had a T3i, so once I got rid of the T3i, I decided to just go on mobile. That's why I have the Apocalypto, that's why I use FiLMiC Pro, and it's a lot easier to be mobile. I believe that as technology advances, everybody's going to be mobile. 2016, maybe even more people be mobile. Ever since the iPhone 6s Plus came out with a 4K camera, that kind of, generally speaking, if it makes sense, it's gonna make mobile filmmaking that much better. Because a 4K camera that can fit into your pocket, yeah, I would say that's a perfect upgrade. But along with the benefits of that, FiLMiC Pro is, I believe, $4.99 on the iTunes store. I'm not sure what the price is for Google Play exactly, but from my experience, I'm pretty sure they're the same price. So if you go to iTunes and type in FiLMiC Pro, you'll be able to get a free version, but I don't think the free version is as updated as the one that is paid. So you'll have to kind of lose some features for that. So unfortunately, that's not really a good benefit if you lose out on features, but you still get the gist of how to use FiLMiC Pro even in the free version. But I believe that's pretty much it for the FiLMiC Pro. I'm very strongly suggesting it, just like I did last week with the Apocalypto, and I would like to do a shout out to Apocalypto for taking the time to share that episode of Film Discussion Thursday to show their other customers who are not 100% sure on getting one that my review was up to par to something that they were looking for to help their customers purchase their product. So I thank Apocalypto for giving me a shout out on their Facebook page. But now it's time for our sponsor. Apocalypto Film Consulting is a new film consulting service right by my production company Apocalypto Productions, which allows you the undivided attention from me to submit your screenplay for me to read, critique, and even tell you if I want to work on it or not. Right now I'm running a free trial on this, so probably for another about a week or two I'll be doing the free trial. But if you do email us after the free trial, the first screenplay will always be free. I got to give you guys a chance to know what my services offer. That way you understand what you're getting, whether if it's good for the money, if it's worth it for maybe like a 5-page script, etc. So if you want to take a look at information on Apocalypto Film Consulting, just take a look right here, apocalyptoproductionsonline.com, for all the information on Apocalypto Film Consulting. And when you think film consulting, think Apocalypto Film Consulting at apocalyptoproductionsonline.com. But that's going to do it for this week, guys. I really hope you like my review on the FiLMiC Pro app for iPhone and Android. And if you want to take a look at our Facebook page right here, facebook.com/Apocalypto Productions, give us a like, share the video, let more people know about Film Discussion Thursday so that way we can do more videos for you, more products, more reviews, more discussions. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and email your film consulting hopeful screenplay at apocalyptoproductionsonline@gmail.com. And I will see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. See you later.